Hello, I'm ABXSleeCat and welcome back to an episode of my Minecraft Xbox Update Adventures Let's Play. This is the Let's Play where I've been playing through the various updates that have come out for Minecraft on the Xbox, building stuff, killing stuff, and of course, destroying stuff. And in today's episode, I'm actually going to be working on a little bit of a, key piece of, infrastructure in my Minecraft world. Because one of the most basic builds you can make, but also one of the most essential builds you can make, is some form of road or pathway system along the world. This is one of the first things I realized because, truth be told, if you have a lot of builds in Minecraft and they're fairly spaced apart, connecting them up is kind of a tricky thing to get done. Like, you gotta work out some way to do that. And one of my favorite ways of recommending this is to have like a signature style of like pathway in your world. So you can go for just like the annoying gravel / coarse dirt path, or like me, I have these fairly, set in stone, like it's stone slabs and some wood slabs underneath them, and it makes for a really nice pathway that goes all the way across the world. It turns something that's meant to be like a fairly flat extreme hills biome / a plains biome into, this would be just a boring stretch between two places. But having this here, kind of, I like the feel it gives to it. So today I wanted to expand the roads a little bit because I have them going all the way across the world, linking most of the stuff to most of the other stuff. But I figured, why not connect like all of the stuff, and like why not use it as an opportunity to connect some more stuff in the future? Oh my gosh, did I just? Oh no. Okay, I'm out of it. So I figured, why not use it? Okay, wait. I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna be fine. So I figured, why not use it as an opportunity? Everything's okay, by the way. That was an intentional little goof. Why not use this as an opportunity to connect the kind of like, it's a savanna, but it's a desert / plains biome, to both the main road over there, where I just was, and also to connect it up to the huge destroyed chunk. That is the nearest death situation I've ever had. See, the moment I start removing the totem and dying, I come very close to actually dying. Just a little bit of a pre-warning right there. So yeah, wouldn't recommend doing that if you're in the same boat. But yeah, so into this video, we're going to be working on the pathway from here to over there. So to do that, we're going to need to use all of our stone. I have a bunch of it on me in my shulker box, as well as a bunch of wood, so we'll take out all of that, and we'll use it to make our stuff going. And we'll get like a fair chunk done into today. Hopefully we can like get like one of the key roads done. That's just kind of the goal here, like get the design parts done, make it so the rest is kind of easy. So yeah, while we work on this, I want to quickly also respond to last week's video, because obviously there's a few things that I realized after they've been made, and a lot of like responses to the comments. I think it's important to have this like back and forth because a lot of you like it, and it's important to have these things. So basically, also I have way too much wood. I overestimated how much I would need, I guess. But basically, I had a couple of key responses. The first one being, do you not realize that dolphins can jump, Toy Cat? And I actually totally forgot when I was making the thing. So yeah, I have like a very misguided dolphin trap. I just need to raise the walls and it'll be fine. So thank you, comment section, for that. And the second thing is that the opposite of a peninsula. So a peninsula is when you have an island that's connected to the mainland by one tiny bridge. It's like it's a tricky definition to get down, but the opposite of that is it's called a cove. I didn't know the definition, and the comment section, they taught me a thing. And honestly, I like that. I really like the comment section, and I've said it before, but I really love the community that watches the Let's Plays in particular, because it's none of this like there's a lot of like problems with YouTube comments, but it seems like we get like the coolest of the cool here, and I want to just express my appreciation there. Like, I know when most YouTubers express appreciation, it's like some weird ploy, like, oh, I appreciate you so much, and that's everyone who likes the video and who favorites. But no, just thank you for your cool comments. I learned a thing, and I think that's wonderful. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way, and then also I guess talk about what I've been up to this past week, because obviously, like the Let's Play is like half about Minecraft and building and talking and stuff, but it's also about, what's been going on. A little bit of a vlog, so you can keep up to date with what's been going on with the Toy Cat. I don't quite like being called the Toy Cat, because it's like a funny like, oh, can I just call myself that? And now it almost is a thing. But you're not sure. The Toy Cat, what's been going on? And I guess the simple explanation, or the simple answer to that question is, I've been watching a bunch of TV this past week. I said I was like trying to get good at it, and I watched like 4 seasons of Suits this past week. Oh, in like I guess it was in like a week and a half or two. That's still like a depressing amount of time just spent like in a TV show, but like I've now ran out of Suits to watch, so that's the good benefit. Honestly, that's the cool thing about watching TV shows, is like or like binging TV shows, is like you're almost happy when it's over, because you're like, oh, I can do other things now. Like I can get back to playing Mario Odyssey, and I can play some more Fortnite in the evenings, which is why I've been streaming a little bit more of that. Although actually I should mention also, this past week I've been in America, so this is recorded on Wednesday, the week before, so I don't know if there's a huge nuclear apocalypse, just keep that in mind. So yeah, but also I wanted to reference something that's a week old now, because it happened, I mentioned my Andorra trip like very briefly, like I went there, it was cool, it's a country between France and Spain, but one of the things that I didn't necessarily mention, because I didn't think it would be like a biggish deal, but it kind of is, because I met a guy there Sorry, so to get from Andorra to the UK, or to really anywhere, you have to fly via Barcelona in Spain. It's like a 3-hour drive from Andorra to get there. Again, it's a tiny country, don't have their own airports. They don't even live near any other airports. And because of that, also I think, because we're going this way, I want to go as close to the big hole as possible, but because I don't want to go right next to it, I guess I'll go like right here, like in this gap here. Yeah, like with this being along the side somewhere. So we'll have like we'll work this out. But basically, when I went to Andorra, when I went to the airport, I had like a thing on my like boarding pass that was like faster security. And it's like, oh, that's a nice treat. Like I get to go through the fast lane of security, and the fast lane's like on the other side of the airport. But I figure like I'm gonna take advantage of this no matter what, even if I have to go for a lot of effort. So I go all the way to the other side of the airport, and then I try to use the fast lane. And, you know, like, there's, like, a scanner, like there always is, and it says, like, oh, no priority, and I'm like, no, read the thing here. It literally says on the ticket, like, fast security. She's like, no, like, she disagreed with what the thing said, like, it doesn't matter, it just matters what the machine says. And there's always something a little bit annoying about, like, oh, I'm just going to listen to the machine. Because it's like, don't humans exist? Like, okay, I've been a big advocate for, like, replacing people with machines and jobs anyway. Because, like, you know, it's really awkward to have to, like, speak to a bunch of people. Like, at McDonald's, for instance, self-serve machines, way better. So, you know, isn't the whole purpose of having people to help you troubleshoot your issues if the machine doesn't work? But no, they're just like, sorry, I'm just here to, you know, like, check the machine is still running or whatever. And it's like, because, you know, she's on her phone or whatever. It's like, okay, I guess that's fine. Like, I had dreams of being able to go for fast security, but not today, it seems. And so I go back to the main queue. It's like a 5-minute walk or something in the hot airport. And on the way there, I met a guy, and his name is, his name was Andrew too, actually, funnily enough. And he's like, oh, do you speak English? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, thank God no one does. And yeah, it seems for some reason Spain has like really low English like literacy. Like again, I'm shocked as to why, because most European countries like speak fluent English, but some people just don't speak English at all. Like a fair number, in fact, in Spain, based on my experiences. Maybe I'm being offensive with that, but basically, yeah. So there's not much English, and he's like, "Oh, thank God, we've had this issue. We took the bus back from Andorra, where we just were, and I was like, oh, I was in Andorra too, but we got the wrong terminal, so we missed our flight, and we have to pay 36 euros to change to the next one." And I'm like, oh, that's a problem, I guess. Continue, you know, because he obviously, you know, is going to lead this into I need money or something. Because then he's like, oh, yeah, I don't have any cash on me. My card got cloned this last week, so it's been cancelled. So I need to get some money for that. And he's like, okay, so he's going to ask some strangers for money. But fair enough. And I was just going to like do my standard generic, like, sorry, yeah, no money for that sort of thing. But I decided, you know, actually, also, let's go down a few blocks, because like I want to have the chests actually match up with how things are going. Like this just looks really weird, doesn't it? But yeah, basically I figured, you know, actually rather than do my standard thing of just being like, sorry, no money or whatever, I figured, you know, I'd try with this guy, like, okay, sure, you know, like, because he had enough details that, you know, he'd just been skiing or whatever. I assumed, like, this must be an honest, like, plea for, like, I need this, because, you know, I can imagine the same situation happened to me, and, like, even though, you know, you need the money temporarily, not, like, as a permanent gift or loan, and he's like, oh yeah, I can give that back, no time. So I just assumed, like, yeah, he'd send his 20 euros, he gave me his email, gave me everything, he's like, I'll get this back to you, as, like, you know, as soon as we're back in the UK. So I wait a day or two, like, just to make sure it's not, like, any pressure, and then I send him an email being like, wanted to make sure you got home fine, and then obviously didn't get a response at all, and, you know, and I waited a week just to make sure that it wasn't just like, oh yeah, we got behind on work emails, and honestly, you know, there's something really, really, like, disappointing about that to me, like, yeah, so, you know, this guy that I was, I guess I trusted him, and then he's like, well, actually, it's not, either he's decided it's not worth the time to give the money back, but even then, you know, he's not even responding to the nice email, making sure that he got home fine or whatever, and it's just like, okay, then I appreciate the kind of thing, and like it's kind of depressing because it's like, well, that you know, the bridge of like giving money to help someone out, that's been burned now, like, because you know, the truth is like when you give money to a stranger under the condition of a loan, right, or like, oh yeah, you can get this back to me sometime. The truth is like, I guess you have to accept that like you're giving someone money and you're probably not getting it back. But you know, I was convinced, like, yeah, this guy I'll totally get back. It's just me helping a guy out in a temporary situation. But no, it was essentially like an offer to take the 20 euros and never get back. And I know it's something like a little bit like that's kind of like, you know, why I guess, you know, trusting humans is hard, right? Because sometimes they do something like that, where it's like, oh yeah, I promise I'll totally get this back, and then turns out it was just a lie, or maybe he intended to at the time, but now it's been so long he figures he shouldn't have to. And it's actually kind of funny that, like, again, your response to something, like, let's assume he actually did want to give the money back, and then at some point he decided not to. It's kind of interesting because, that leaves you in a situation where I guess you have to conclude that, like, you'll do the right thing, but as long as it's easy sometimes. I think a lot of people fall in that category. Like, honestly, for me, it's like, I think that's how I default to, like, trying to doing the right thing in an easy situation is actually what most people will do, and that's why you gotta make it just easy for people to do the right thing. But I think the truth is a lot of people don't do the right thing unless it's easy. They'll do the right thing because they feel like they should sometimes. But if you make it like hard for them, or if you give them an easier way to not do the right thing, then some people take that instead. And I know it's kind of an interesting view on humanity and like I guess humanity, yeah, sure, and stuff. So yeah, that was my depressing story from the past week. But it is something. I guess it's an important thing to know. Like, oh yeah, well this bridge has been burnt now. Next time someone asks me for money, I'll let the next person go through the same stuff. And I don't know. Hopefully, if I ever need to like go through an airport and like beg to borrow some money, hopefully I'll be the one guy that can actually like repay the dude. PayPal him afterwards or whatever. Because you learn something even from the things that don't go well. I feel like there's always a learned lesson there. So yeah, that's the like big conclusion, like the big thing that happened the past week. I guess I lost faith in a man from he was from London too. He had like a very British accent. He was called Andrew. Like he broke the Andrew bond that we had, and it actually wasn't that big of a deal. But it's like it was something that was on my mind this past week, and that's why I shared it. So what else I've been up to the past week? I watched all of Suits. Like I watched season like 4 through 7 in the past 2 weeks now. So honestly though, I ran out of like just Suits to watch. That's why I stopped. But I'm honestly kind of like happy that I've run out now, because you know what it's like when you binge watch a TV show. You just need to know what's happening next, and then you kind of like spoil it. You like spoil yourself by having too much, and then I think it's kind of a good thing to always cut yourself off eventually. So I got cut off by the show having not enough episodes. Because I think watching a TV show too fast, you start to realize just how formulaic it is. And Suits in particular. I love Suits. If you love Suits too, then that's great. But it is a very formulaic show. Like the same, there's a lot of like repeating patterns of like, drama gets, comes up, drama gets resolved. And actually, just to test this point, I skipped like an episode, and then I was like, oh, how far behind am I? And it's like, nothing had, changed. They have a 45-second recap at the start of the episode that gives you everything you need, like, from the past 45 minutes. And it's like, I guess you can condense every whole show into a 45-second summary. So, yeah, I guess I got something interesting from that. And also, in the past week, I met with a friend that I hadn't spoken to for quite some time. It's been like since just after I left school, so maybe like 18 or 19, and now I'm 23. Maybe we went once in that time, but it's been like a long time. But yeah, I met with him again. He's like engaged and I don't know, so like buying a house and everything, like living the real adult life. And it was really cool because the whole time, like again, when we were trying to set up a date, he was always like tricky, like, oh, I can't really do Monday, how about Tuesday? I streams on Tuesday. Well, what about Saturday? And it's like, oh, I'm not in the country on Saturday. We had this huge, like kind of annoying back and forth over and over again. And yeah, basically, at some point you assume if someone goes through that much hassle that they're just like, they're deliberately trying not to like, I think I hear this phrase a lot where like, oh, if someone really loves you, they'll make time for you. Or like, I guess not if someone loves you, but like, if someone really wants to be around you, then they'll make the time for you rather than the other way around. But I think, the truth is when he met, he's like, oh man, my job, like, it really is these number of hours. I've met with this guy, that guy. And he was like so happy the whole night, he bought me dinner. Which, for the record, like, I feel like a lot of people have like a huge shame thing and like, oh, can't let someone else ever buy me dinner. Like, it's a huge, in some cultures even, it's like a huge, like, you want to like, it's an insult to buy someone else the meal. Like, if I think it's in Japan, if you go out for dinner with someone and you pay, it's like dishonoring them or something. It's crazy how that works. But for me, it's like, I feel like paying for my meal and anything, that's a good way to like buy my favor, like I think I'd be like a terrible politician just because like, oh, these nice people who want to, like kill the dolphins, but they bought me dinner. Well, like it's there's something like, I guess, okay, wait, I guess the easiest way to put this is like any showing with money, like, okay, wait. So if you can't show someone how much they're worth to you with time, I think money is a close second, right? And and by money I don't mean like, oh yeah, like $5 is $5. I mean like as a percentage of your total or whatever. So for instance, if he was a millionaire and he bought me like, a night, because we went for GBK, it's a burger place in the UK, really good. Would recommend it if you like gourmet burgers. But yeah, if he's a millionaire and you buy someone £9, yeah, that's not a big gesture. But a guy who's same age as me works manual job or whatever, he gave up some of his essential work time to do it. And, you know, there's just something kind of nice about that. It's always been hard for me to say this because, like, again, if you go too far, it's like, oh, so you think it's all about money? It's like, no, money's just a really good way to show gestures to people. Like, oh, yeah, well, sorry about this, but something money. And yeah, I've always liked that as like, especially as like an apology tool. Like, oh, I messed up, but I can pay to make this better or whatever. It's better than just saying I messed up and it will be better next time, because it's showing like a real loss to them. You know, like you only have so many resources in the world. And you know, like how I only have so many Minecraft blocks on me. You only have so many resources you can spend in the world. So to spend any of them on someone, it's just, you know, it's a nice little thing. So yeah, I really appreciate that. And apparently you can't trust me if I'm a politician, because maybe I'll kill the dolphins if they buy me something nice. But no, in more serious terms, I think yeah, there's something super respectable, like, because anyone can say anything all the time, right? Like, I have a friend who comes back into my life once every like 2 years or so when he breaks up with a girlfriend, and he's like, oh man, why don't we hang out like we used to? And I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be totally cool. And you know, I wait till he see if he says, like, I wait to see if anything happens after that, and it doesn't. And obviously, like, I know it's just kind of interesting that, like, you can say anything you want all the time, you know, based on your temporary feelings, but to like dedicate something like time or like money or like really, you know, like just thought, I guess, even is a good one. That's how you really show something off. So I guess I need to make a bridge over this hill, which means I probably need to... Okay, well, I'll place a block here, and then I'll start a bridge here, and then just try and go over there, which is going to be a bit of a mess, but that's fine. So we'll do it like... Okay, we'll go back to here, and then because we want to make a bridge that's like got an arch to it. Again, this is going to be tricky, but we're going to try our hardest. We'll get a thing going on here. So, yeah, I met a friend. It was really nice, and... I know it's good to meet old friends every now and then, because it's a reminder of like how much you've changed in the time since you last met, and you know, some reminders are good reminders, some reminders are bad reminders, but hopefully it's usually one of the good ones I find. So yeah, I met a friend. Also, I think this has to go a lot higher. No, we'll just keep going like this, like diagonal up, diagonal up, diagonal up, and so on and so forth until it magically gets better. So we're most of the way to the top now, but I'm still going to keep going, and then suddenly we'll switch to like 2 wide, and then suddenly, oh gosh. Okay, so that's 2 horrific mistakes in one video. I mean, we're doing pretty well for ourselves today. So if we place, okay, we want to have some real way to get up there. Yeah, this is like a tricky thing we've got going on here. But yeah, basically, yeah, something about like putting in something that's not just empty platitudes is nice. I mean, I think that's actually just like how different people are wired. Like, some people prefer words beyond anything else. I think there's like a book called like The Languages of Love. Like, some people really prefer to be loved with just, you know, really nice gestures. Like, they want to believe the nicest thing in the world. Whereas I think maybe like, I don't know, in my head it's like a more practical based, like showing off affection, showing off just caring, you know. And I know I thought it was really interesting. Like, just that one thing really showed me the whole evening, like, oh yeah, this wasn't like a whole mistake where he's trying to do that. It was like a genuine little thing. And there's just, I don't know, I feel like there's a life lesson to be learned in there, but I'm not sure there is. I think it's just like a me lesson, you know? Like, oh, I guess I'm one of the... Because one of the things that always shocked me when I saw, like, because this happens in TV shows every now and then, where, you know, someone gets rich, and they buy, you know, their closest friend or their girlfriend something really nice, and then they're like, no, like, that's insulting to me. How do you not understand that? They're like, no, there's no strings attached. Just have the cool things so we can do something together. And they're like, no. And that's like never been me personally, because I'd always be like, actually, I think it's a nice gesture. I kind of like having the free thing. That is a good way of showing love. And I guess if it's a millionaire buying it for you, there is like a little bit of a difference, because again, it's as a percentage of their total, they're doing the same as if I give you 23p. Like, if I gave you 23p, you won't like me anymore. But if I gave you £23, then suddenly you can buy, what, like, I don't know, Minecraft and some DLC. But yeah, I know. I'm going to move off that, though, and talk about one other thing that, I guess, this came up because of the airline thing. So surprisingly, most people agreed with me on the, like, you know, like, kids who are loud should be treated as, like, just as bad as, like, like, you should... When a child is crying, it should be your responsibility to fix it, and like, that's one of my thoughts that I feel like is controversial, but a lot of people actually agreed. So I was like, oh, that's kind of nice then. Also, I guess my bridge only goes one way up the mountain. I was hoping I could like mirror it on this side, but I clearly can't do that. So we'll just kind of follow the mountain as it goes, or the hill or whatever's going on here. And actually, let's get our little stone slabs going, just so we can have like something for bridge here. Because again, I kind of like the way that bridges into the wall. It's a little bit messy actually. I wish I'd gone a little bit higher, but still, I like it. I like it a little bit anyway. But we need to add the sides just to make sure it still looks like a road, and then we'll be all good and golden. And then I'll throw some slabs in there, and it'll be all wonderful. But yeah, back to what I was saying. So basically, yeah, and like another thing that I kind of think, again, kind of controversially, is like, you know how we have debates about what's dangerous in the world, and again, I'm not discussing it specifically. Don't you like? Actually, you know, this is the Let's Play. I'm not gonna be that sort of guy who's like, oh, Toy Cat's talking about guns, haha. No, I mean like we talk about things that are dangerous all the time. Like there are so many things you can't do because they're dangerous for you. That's like, you know, in the law or whatever. And I think, you know, like I think one of the most dangerous ones we never talk about is cars. Like we drive these huge things around, or I don't, but people drive these huge things around that can kill like hundreds all the time. Like if you just fall asleep while you're in a huge city, you'll drive onto the pavement, you'll kill like 10 people, or like injure them at the very least. That's crazy to me. Yeah, especially because so many people drive cars like so lazily, like so absent-mindedly. But yeah, so I think that's crazy enough by itself. But what makes it even crazier, in my opinion, is the fact that children, I feel like, okay, so again, I feel like cars are like one of the most dangerous things in the world, but like a poorly raised child must be more dangerous than like a car or a gun, you know, or a bomb even. I would say, yeah, a poorly raised child, like if you make one bomb and you make one poorly raised child, like if you do it just wrong enough, I think you'll have way more like consequences from the child. Like again, if you just like either raise the child so that like, you know, he hates everything, and, you know, becomes a sociopath or a psychopath, then suddenly, you know, that's going to cause a lot of deaths from the other sides of things. And second of all, like the amount of like hurt you'll cause during your life. So again, let's just assume like you can't raise a child so he'll become a serial killer. Let's say that's you know, like it's just a nature thing, like nature versus nurture. Then even then, like the amount of like pain some people cause in the world, like, you know, that guy didn't give my money back. That's like the tiniest slight, but like that was still some human indecency, or is human indecency the right word? It might be. Also, I think I'm going too high with these. Yeah, I definitely am. So we'll make sure we're getting this right now. Yeah, that's how you want to do this, like half slab and then one up. I think that's going to be the best way to do this. So we'll see how it looks when it's done. It might be super ugly. We might have to move on, but I'm liking how this is actually. You liking this too? I like to believe it's good. So there we go. Then we power a few over here. Place that up, and now we have a little bit of a half slab thing. So we're going to look at this from the side again, because again, that's where it's kind of important, like both aerial view and from the side. But as you can see, it's kind of nice. So there actually, you know, so this bridge has been super nice, but there is one more thing I forgot actually that I wanted to throw onto the Let's Play, because last week I said I was going to show off the loneliest piece of gravel in the world, and then you know, a couple of comments like jokingly said like, so that was a trick just so you could finish what you're talking about. And actually, I swear it wasn't. And I figured, you know, I'm going to locate this lonely piece of gravel and I'm going to show you. So before today's episode ends, I really feel like I have to show you that. So yeah, my thing's going pretty well so far. It looks good from the sky. Like this is promising. I think it'll be great when it's done. I'll do a bit more clearing or whatever. But first, I want to show you the loneliest piece of gravel in the entire world. So yeah, basically, before we go though, I want to say one more thing. Yeah, I think raising children correctly is like the number one thing you can do to like make the world a better place. But I don't know how you like do that at all. And in fact, I don't think anyone will know. I like at some point in the future, we'll be like, how do you do this again? And just it will be lost knowledge or whatever. Because I feel like that's definitely a thing that's getting worse and worse, right? Like technology makes it easier to raise a child badly, right? Is that seems true at the very least. Even though it should be the opposite. It's the opposite of most things, but not with children. So anyway, you can see the loneliest gravel block in the world. I tried forever to try and get on top of it, because it's a single block, but I swear it's impossible to do so, or at least I'm just not good enough to do so. Because I guess you have to crouch the moment you get on it. Oh no, see, it's just too tricky. But there you can see, this is in fact the loneliest gravel block you'll ever see, and that has been today's episode. I'm currently in Mindfair, in America. So I'll let you know how that is next week. Obviously, this is recorded a few days in advance. And I hope that I don't die, because I think as this goes live, I'm about to catch a plane home. So let's hope I don't die in a horrible, fiery plane crash. But assuming that doesn't happen, then I will see you all in the next week. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for being awesome or whatever. So, goodbye. It's so lonely.